Once a brother was sitting with me in Canada. He says, man, what you're saying, it's like, it's an enlightenment. I know I'm wrong. My life is useless. Then his friend starts calling him on the phone. He says, look, he's calling me. They're all calling me. They're waiting for me. They want me to join them in the club here. They're calling me. And if I don't go, they'll start hammering me and I may lose that friendship. He's now afraid. I said, shut it off. If you really believe this is worth, it's your choice. I said, if you really think that's important, your loyalty and your friends is important, go. Join them. And I smiled. He looked at me and says, you're killing me. You're killing me. I said, I'm not killing you. I'm smiling. Why am I killing you? He says, you know, you've put me in a very difficult situation. I put you in a difficult situation? Excuse me. You put yourself in a difficult situation. Now get out of it. You know where the truth lies. It's your choice. Our loyalty to friends, my God, I remember when I was growing up, I did the same stupid thing. No one was more important to me than my friends. If my friends called me, I was just constantly waiting to jump the phone call. Yes, my friend is calling me. My parents, who took care of me when I was a child, who fed me, who could have thrown me in the garbage can, who could have given me away into adoption, they took care of me. They're not important. Look at this contradiction in my life. I said, I'm a fool. When did I know? Subhanallah. I started assessing from the Quran. Allah keeps giving me examples. Look at this one. Look at that one. I remember as a child reading how Ismail is talking to his father. He says, Inni ara fil manam. I see in my dream that I must sacrifice you. Ibrahim is talking to his son. I'm a child reading this. And the child says, If'al ma tu'mar. Do what you have been commanded. Satajiduni inshallah min as-sabiri. Wow, he's a child telling his father, do it, my father. Perchance God will put me among the patient ones. That's a father-son relationship. Respect. I remember reading stories where Imam Hassanain Rajabali is going to Karbala and Ali Akbar is on a horse with him and he's talking to him and Imam Hassanain Rajabali says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ali Akbar says, why did you say that, Baba? He says, we're going to our destruction. We're going to be massacred. Ali Akbar looks at him and says, Father, are we not on the truth? Are we not on justice? He says, yes, my son, we are. He says, then let us proceed. And I said, that's Ali Akbar, that's my age. He's a teenager like me. Allah says, look at this one. Look at my role models. Do you understand that? You've missed the point. Your friends that you've made have no value when it comes to morality. They're just entertainment value. Entertainment value is cyclical. Watch the sports. One team wins, next team loses. Next year the next team wins, next team. It's a cyclical entertainment. There's no value other than the entertainment value. Sure, there is interesting tactics in it and we like to watch that, but at the end of the day, it's not a religion. I used to be crazy for the Super Bowl and the football in America. I was crazy. I was keeping statistics. Basketball, who's got the biggest shoe size? Who cares? It's not important. It's not going to make me good. Even in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah says, they say there were 3 and the 4th was the dog, or there were 5 and the 6th was the dog, and there were 7 and the 8th was the dog. Allah says, none of your business. It's not important. I won't tell you. Allah says, and don't ask me about it. Why is Allah telling me this? Oh Allah, you're telling me the truth. Tell me the numbers. Allah says, if I tell you the number, what good will it do for you? Will you become a better Muslim? Will you worship me more if I tell you there's 8 and not 9? What difference does it make? It's a numerical object. It's got no meaning to the system of God. Unless it's meaningful, Allah is going to give me the numbers. Same thing with me. I'm indulgent with my friends. And then one day I remember, my God, it struck me. I was a teenager then, but I still didn't understand its true value. But it started. But I was lying in bed, and my mother called me, and I wasn't going to pay attention to her. She called me downstairs, and I said I wasn't going to stand up. I wasn't going to get up out of my bed. I was going to pretend I didn't hear her. How many of us do that? Many a times. In fact, these days we're so bold, we tell our mothers to be quiet. I've seen children tell their mothers, be quiet. How dare you say that? Allah says, don't even say uff to them. Don't even say uff. Lakin qawlan karima. Rather say kind words to them, especially when they reach old age. How are you ever going to understand the value of the gift of God if you can't even appreciate your parents? And I remember I was sitting there, I was going to pretend I didn't hear my mother. And something so clear came in my head and said, Ignore her. There will come a day you will go to her grave and you will hit her tombstone and you will ask her to scream at you. You will ask her to hit you. She won't reply you. Oh my God, that was an awakening. I jumped out of bed. And you know, that vision has never left me. It has never left me. SubhanAllah, how Allah guides in mysterious ways. It's simply, Allah said to me, your friends, you will replace them. But your mother and your father, how can you ever replace them? Look what they have done for you. The world will ban you, will damn you. They won't even look at you. But your mother and father will have their open hands for you. Allah says, we have enjoined goodness to mankind to them. Look at how important it is for you to look at them with mercy. How important it is for you to respect them. That I jumped out of the bed and I ran. I did not walk. I ran all the way down to the first floor, and I stood in front of my mother, because perchance during my movement from that bed to her, that God would take her away. And I stood in front of her, I said, yes, mother. And I just didn't stop looking at her. She is talking, I just kept looking at her. And I just kept looking at her. And I said, my God, may I never stop looking at her. May I kiss her hand. We don't understand the value. Look at the television today. We don't teach our children this. We don't teach our children basic values. You find prophets revered. When people used to come to the Holy Prophet and say, Ya Rasulullah, you are such a great man. He used to reply with humbleness, my father is better than me. The Holy Prophet, Rahmatul lil Alameen, chosen as a mercy for all, the best human being. Look how he replied. He said, my father is better than me. That's how he used to reply. Look at this ayah. SubhanAllah, and I give this, it's a very basic rule. If we follow, if we understand that my parents can leave this world any second, and no matter what you do, you can't get them back. A brother in this room just recently lost his father. He was so happy that God sent him to his country and that he was able to spend the last few days with his father. And he says something to me very interesting. He says, if I did not see my father before his death, I would have cried for the rest of my life. But God gave me the chance to go, and I asked him, are you happy with me? Are you radi with me? The father says, yes, I'm happy with you. Can you imagine what a consolation that is that we have achieved in life? That when Allah takes our parents away, we feel a consolation that Allah, you took them. They are with you. They are in safekeeping. And inshallah, I will be with them in the next world. And you may raise us together. We may be together in the hereafter together. Quran even mentions that the families can be together if they want to be after Judgment Day in paradise. But we all have to act together in a good way. There's rahmah in it. Believe me, I look at my father now, I pay attention to every strand of his hair. Because there'll come a time I won't have it. I remember my aunt when she passed away, just her piece of hair. My grandfather, just he had a set of spectacles, there was a piece of hair. I used to touch the piece of hair. That's my only connection with him. He's gone. Allah says, look, when he was alive, how much did the world appreciate him? This is the human race. It's not only my parents, by the way. All of us, as a human race, we must appreciate each other. When we shake hands with each other, we must appreciate. This may be the last handshake. Let's not have animosity with each other. Let's not have hatred and jealousy for each other. Even your enemy, when you shake their hands, say, this may be my last handshake with this enemy of mine. But oh Allah, protect him like you protect me. He's my enemy, but protect him. In your cause, protect him. That Allah says, look at my creation. How much He has appreciated me. How much He has appreciated His own parents. Look how much He has appreciated His own value. So every time we see our parents, say, this is the last moment. And I made a vow in my life. And Allah has accepted that vow. I can see it. And I say, Allah, never separate me from them. People ask me, you are a professional, you travel the world to go lecture, you speak everywhere, and so on and so forth. So do your parents live with you? I said, correction. I live with my parents. My parents don't live with me. I live with them. They are the authority. I own nothing. As long as they're alive, I own nothing. I can be a billionaire. I am nothing. I am poor with relations to my parents. They own everything. If they give it to me, I'll take it. I can never thank Allah enough for that. I don't need anything else. I don't want the wealth. I don't want the houses. I don't want anything. I just want proximity to God through them. And Allah says, look, when you reach 40, you cry for them like that. And you've really settled down. What of you? Look at Prophet Sulaiman. Surah An-Naml, the chapter of the ant, the same story. Sulaiman is so rich, so powerful. He's controlling the jinn. He's even talking to animals. Quran says there was a bird who obeyed his commands. Hoopoe, as we call it, hub. Right? He was a hoopoe bird. He would come and bring the news to Sulaiman. He would talk to Sulaiman under his command. Sulaiman was controlling a dominion greater than anything imaginable. The Quran has never spoken of a leader of God, among God's creations, who has been given so much authority as Sulaiman. Sulaiman, you would think, okay, if I become rich, I become powerful, I become world-renowned, I become wealthy, and, there's nothing greater than me. What usually happens to people? You become arrogant. You look down on people. Even your family, you tend to look down on them. Allah is showing me that, look, if you think wealth is a bad thing, it's not. Wealth is okay. Acquire as much as you can. Even if you're a billionaire, it's fine. But don't forget me, because your moral foundation is what's going to give you tranquility and balance. Otherwise, you will become like all of these people in the world who have no morality. So you find Sulaiman, as he's crossing with his army in the valley of the ant, he hears the ant speaking that, move, lest Sulaiman crushes us. And Sulaiman looks up in the sky and he smiles. He realizes that, wow, what an honor that even these ants know who I am. How much honor God has given me, that he looks up and says to me that if you ever become wealthy and powerful, take Sulaiman as a role model for you. That look what he did. He didn't just cross across them and crush them. He stopped. He looked up. He said, Rabbi, awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati. Awzi'ni, meaning invoke in me. Look, he doesn't say, I have it. He says, awzi'ni. Make me. Look, he's so humble in front of Allah. He doesn't say, oh Allah, I am. He says, induce in me. أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. Invoke in me this gratefulness for the gifts you've given me and my parents. أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه. Make me a good follower, a one who follows good things, who's constantly doing good deeds. You're already a prophet. You've already been chosen. Even the jinn are under your command. The insects are under your command. The birds are under your command. You're saying, still make me a good follower? Allah says, look, don't ever stop doing zikr of Allah. Don't ever stop asking. Look how much I give Sulaiman, and even he is still asking me for more. And what is the last part? وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. Look, subhanallah, how deep, my God. If you reflect on this, just one ayah, you see how deep it is. You see that Sulaiman is asking to be among worshippers. He says, and when I die, put me among worshippers. Meaning, the greatest joy of the hereafter is to be among worshippers. Paradise is a de facto gift of God. It's a material thing that God says, this is what I give to my believers. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ النَّعِيمِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. We will give it to you. 100%, it's guaranteed. But your pleasure in paradise is among the worshippers. That when you remember me, your moral constriction, your moral structure, your proximity to the most beloved gets stronger and stronger every second, every hour. Imagine its value. Sulaiman, how great he is, he's saying this, that put me among ibad al-salihin, among those who are the worshippers. Sulaiman was known to close the door, and he would put his hand behind his head, and he would do dhikr to Allah all night.